Hello, friends, and welcome to the inn. We're having some tea with Marie and friends. Yperaspitus and Anubisi are here. They have joined me in the wonderful inn for the day. Just adjusting some wonderful noises on my end. This is basically just a nice sit down time where we chill and talk about the campaign and kind of hop into the minds of Anubisi and Yperaspitus a bit. Kind of cover what they are thinking inside this world so far. So,
Kills alright, kills alright, kills alright. Okay, that's the whole half hour. No.
well, I mean, that's, yep, okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. That was great. The general consensus is kills alright.
Poor Zari.
But, I mean, general announcement stuff. Excuse me, I just swallowed my own spit for that. The ambiance you hear in the background, that's Michael Gelfi. That's one of his wonderful ambiance things that he provides. There's a lot of other music and sounds you can use in your D&D campaigns. I recommend them. I'm using this because it sounds like an inn, and we're in an inn, so it fits.
I'm in the newsroom.
Yeah, media area. The wolf. The wolf is chilling with the media. Seems a little apt and appropriate. But there's no announcements, so really, let's just hop into it. I want to start with both of you kind of giving an idea of who your characters are and revealing whatever details you'd like, talking about all that. Who would like to start?
I'll
Yperaspitus.
go. So Praspitus is definitely new to the whole being a leader role and taking such a unique assignment is all to do with the fact that he previously knew the princess. So
It's a bit more than previously knew.
yeah, like she's his mentor.
Mm-hmm.
He looks up to her. But that also ties into his tattoo and its meaning, the whole needing to defend people. Like she being his mentor and all, definitely his main goal is to save her. And if he has to, he will start treading on people's shoes.
We kind of saw a bit of that in this last one when Prosperous really kind of lost his
Got
shit.
fed up.
He got fed up.
Yeah,
He got pretty angry.
especially since up until meeting the dark elf, he thought that Yorlandriel was the closest he was going to have to finding where the princess was.
Fun surprise there. That actually ties into a Nubisai a bit as well.
Yeah,
The
I was
significance of
tasked to find her. That's not the whole reason why I'm here on this continent, but it was, hey, since you're going that way, we were suggested I go that way. I'm in no hurry to bring her back either.
Mm-hmm. It's the
If she
question from the Drow Queen. It's like, daughter goes missing. Who's she gonna send? Best warrior she knows. That definitely being a Nubisai. So Nubisai, who is a Nubisai?
Anubisi. How much should I reveal? uh, Anubisi, well, appearance of being in a full suit of armor all the time and not eating, sleeping, drinking, rest, all that stuff. People have got to figure it out by now. I'm some type of, I guess you'd call it a construct. So it's, in truth, I'm very, very old. I guess I will give some of this out. I actually started as a human necromancer many, many eons ago. And the unique thing, I guess, or a different perspective of this is both of my parents were necromancers. I was raised in a necromantic family. I don't see it as being evil. I just seen it as being another aspect of life. But, of course, being a necromancer is not the safest or healthiest profession to be in. Father was killed by a paladin when he mistakenly raised the paladin's mother from the dead. It was just a grave that was there. He needed another servant. Raise. Didn't see anything wrong with that, but the paladin did. And killed my father. So then it was just my mother and I. And my mother, trying to protect the family, decided to try and raise a dragon as a protector. And that didn't go so well. It killed my mother. The spell did. It didn't work out too good. So that left me on my own. And as I was a human necromancer, for many, many, many years, gaining knowledge and skill, the one thought on my mind is everyone's always out to kill me. No one understands. No one understands that, somebody lives a full life or, short life, but they live the life that they were given and then they die. We're extending that, giving them some more life. Why can't you see that as a positive? But eventually I got the crazy idea in my mind that I would build an iron golem and transfer my soul, knowledge, and intellect into the golem. Unfortunately, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. My mind got transferred, or my soul and my mind, but none of my abilities, none of my magic. Just became a sentient iron golem, full of memories and full of knowledge. But I think I'll leave the rest of that out for now. But I've been wandering the world trying to figure out how I can get back or get my magic back.
Yeah. And speaking of magic, Yperaspitus has a very unique kind of magic.
Yeah, it's almost the exact opposite of a necromancer's.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, Yperaspitus is all magus have the magic sickness because of what their race is and their innate magical abilities. But being a healing class magus, Yperaspitus is racked with a stronger form of the sickness. So when he uses his spells, it takes a greater toll. But at the same time, his spells are for healing anyway. So
And the way the Magus work, I mean, they use their own life essence of sorts to bring out and cast their spells. That's how Yperaspitus as a fighter class can actually use magic still, is because of his race. It's severely limited, but it still gives him some options and gives him some things to do. And you and Yperaspitus went down the commanding tree of the fighter class.
yep. I did that because I wouldn't want to be straight up on the front line, but I want to be able to be there in the thick of it.
In the thick of it. Has Yperaspitus ever done any leading before up to this point?
No, this would be his first ever actual leadership role, which is why I've been playing him as being very stand back and watch everyone up until very recently when he's been more actually trying to take command, which might be a little late, but
The action so far, I mean, you've still made some attempts to move about those. With Anubisi having gone through so many battles and so many wars already, what's her kind of general look towards the group and towards Yperaspitus's leadership skills so far?
I plead the fifth.
wise.
I mean, come on. This is as old as I am and as much as I've seen. This is kids playing around, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I guess really there is no one my age that's going to be around.
Mm.
So even elves and maguses, and they're young. So it's I usually just look for wars for other reasons, and you know, when I become too popular, I leave and go to the next place. So being in a group is kind of somewhat new ish. You know, I'm learning how to try and cope, or I have lots of patience, but just seeing them bang their head against the wall day after day after day, it's, I would have cut his wings off way earlier, but hey.
Yeah, his wings are very, very specific call out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zarai has a way of testing those patients.
Luckily, I can become a statue if I want and just zone out.
Stand still. Very well practiced in that with your statue mode.
Yeah.
Get into a spot and just stands and
Boom.
watches.
Let my mind wander. No
Think
one's
about
going to do anything to my body, or they could try.
But even then, with everything that happened with Yolandriel recently and his arrest in the inn, there was a moment where Anubisi actually stepped forward and tried to attempt at stopping it at least.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to learn this group thing, and if it would have been just Sarai, I would have walked away. But Yolandria seemed to be somewhat okay and an important part of the group for some other people's goals. So I tried to stop it. Plus, unbeknownst really to this party, since I am or was human, I am still finding a lot of this anti-human stuff to be very, unsettling. And the captain is captain number one anti-human. So, yeah, I was kind of opposite of him. Period. Anyhow.
Yeah, on that note, Yperaspitus is used to racial related things being issues, but the blatant racism has been getting to him as well. That's for sure. And that captain, right off the bat, like he was like, "No, I do not want to have to deal with this dude."
He's a very blunt and forward individual, and you've both had some interactions with him. And Anubisi inside the inn and Yperaspitus, well, a very pointed interaction with him at the wall, with both of you having drawn blades with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Getting stopped eventually. That kind of brings it around to Anubisi's, or not Anubisi's, but Yolandriel's arrest in general. What would Anubisi and Yperaspitus' general consensus be on him getting arrested? Because, I mean, we all expect Zarai to get arrested. We've already seen him do it once. But Yolandriel, that's a bit different.
It was an honest mistake. He wasn't seriously going to kill anybody or try to kill anybody, but he did. But he was being arrested before that, so for just a threat.
Yeah. Yperaspitus definitely wants to stick a boot somewhere where light doesn't shine anymore. But at the same time, like, upon hearing he was arrested, the first thought that went through Yperaspitus' mind was, I expect this from Zarai, not from Yolandriel. Why?
Yeah.
Then what's Yperaspitus' first words going to be to him, and like how are you going to react when you see him next?
Oh, that's a good question. It depends on the state he's in. I haven't actually watched last night's stream, so I have to go back and watch it. I was there briefly, but I could tell you he'll be relieved, but at the same time, he's probably going to be like, "Look, Yolandriel, I don't need you as much as I used to. So we're gonna need to tread a little more softly.
And I'm holding back. If it wasn't because of the party, I would have already started so many fights.
Hmm.
I mean, that captain
Bro,
being the
I'll be
way
right
it was,
next to you.
I would have drawn and killed him, or tried. Yeah, I would have killed him. That's just it. I would have killed him.
it's kind of a matter
And
of reputation.
yeah, and when we were at the encampment threatening, I would have loved to have taken on the whole camp.
Yeah, all 2,000 of them. I mean, it's a military training encampment.
Yep.
Oh man.
I'm not saying I would have survived the encounter entirely. I would have survived it, but I would have been out of the group, let's say, as I just calculated out 460 days.
Yeah, yeah. 460 days of torn to pieces, you come back. I mean, you may have survived it, you probably would have, but the likelihood of
the rest of the group and
the
everything,
rest of the
no.
group doing, probably not.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't. But if it would have been just me, yeah, fun time.
Yeah, Yperaspitus wanted so badly to try and lead the army to the Harpies, but 2,000 units. First off, he wasn't thinking numbers quite well. He was kind of a little redlined, but at the same time, he was like, "Oh, I want to make them pay."
Make them pay. That's so the kind of almost changing and shifting topics a little bit, but still going along with the line of things. With you wanting to make them pay, you might actually have the option to, now knowing that there's a resistance going on in this place. What are the thoughts on that?
Well, the resistance interests him excessively, and the fact that they're actually trying to save people as well, and they are a line he has now to finding the princess and saving her. He definitely will be backing them like 100% because that's more along the lines of what he's here for. And saving people is one thing he really likes doing.
Saving the princess, so you think they can save the people? In what way?
Well, just the way she was talking had him thinking they're here for the people in general, and wars aren't good for people. So starting a war is going to end up being inevitable.
Argue that point, but
okay, in Yperaspitus's view, wars aren't good for people. but he probably hasn't understood it fully yet as to what they're doing. But his first reaction to them was they want to save the princess, so saving people.
Mm-hmm. And how's Anubis I feel about seeing Leaf as part of said resistance?
well, she was always a troublemaker. She ran away because she didn't want to be queen, and also find her brother. But I think she would have ran away anyhow, even if he wasn't missing. Um, I really, as Anubis, I only have probably about a 10% vested interest in that. Really, it was a reason to get off or go away from the other place, Quayla. But I would have left anyhow. It was getting too popular. I'd been there for 500 years, so or plus, so it was time to leave. And this just happened to be a coincidence of reasons and passage to get somewhere. So I took it. From what I've seen of Leaf, probably previously as well. Yeah, she likes causes, especially if it helps her. From an Anubis point of view, I actually would like to see this war continue. Someplace that's been at war for 400 years plus. That sounds like a great place to be. for me anyhow, at the time being. So, not so keen on the resistance trying to bring peace, but I'll go along with it. And as long as I can kill some things or, have some deaths in there somewhere.
As Brolog would say, as long as there is blood to be had.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the one reason I kind of like this party. They are misfits and they get in lots of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of trouble.
So, the opportunities there are there for war, killing, death, the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The moment blows start going, we do not shy away from them.
No, I mean, you're a party of full-on fighters, basically. I mean, Yperaspitus is a fighter class, Anubisi is an iron golem. You've got the Zarai is a ranger, Brolog's a barbarian, Yolandri is a cleric. I mean, he may be Healy type, but Yolandri has been very in the face of everyone in every single combat. He's run forward into the front lines. I think that might be part of his Draken sense coming out. Draken was a paladin he played in a previous campaign. He's casting a lot of spells, though. That's nice.
I feel like he plays a very fighter cleric, casting all the spells, but also being incapable at that.
He's got a reach weapon. And wings. Speaking of, how do we all feel? I mean, we've already kind of said it a couple of times, but how do we feel about our winged friend? And losing Steve as well. I mean, that was a big moment.
Yeah, he was helpful.
Steve did good work.
Deep down, Yperaspitus is heartbroken about Steve. He hasn't had the time to really process it, though.
Too much has happened. It's not even been a full day since Steve's gone by.
Nope.
Speaking of, it's only been 7 days since you all have arrived in Recloria. And 2 of you have already been arrested.
7 days and 2 arrests.
Band of misfits indeed.
1 tattoo, 1 skinning of a tattoo.
Yeah. That was good.
That was fun. Brolog actually did that in his years. He skinned a tattoo off of someone. And it was quite violent.
Yperaspitus hearing about that and being like, okay then.
But when you got to Recloria, they have this thing they call high season. This is and now that you've spent a week, you've experienced like the effects of high season, having had a day that only lasted 3 hours, one day that lasted longer than usual, and you've had these kind of sporadic days of different lengths. Definitely probably something new for both Anubisi and Yperaspitus. Yperaspitus being the young one, Anubisi being the older one.
Nice to have something that's different, finally.
Gives you something to learn again.
I want to ask you a question, Mr. DM. The psychological effects of days changing like that, on top of 2 compatriots being arrested, having to threaten a dwarf, trying to threaten an elf, wanting to start his own war because of all of it going on. Yeah, I think Yperaspitus might be going mad.
Or at least an alignment change.
Just going from
feeling it.
Lawful good to
I think you are lawful good. Oh wow, I don't have any of those pulled up on my laptop. Let me just pull up your character sheet. I mean, alignments, they're more like guidelines than anything.
Yeah, lawful good.
But they still...
Yeah, you're treading on the bottom edge of that.
You are definitely are.
And he's been treading it since, going out with Nero. Not gonna lie.
It's
Nero's fault.
Effect. He has that effect on people. That is for sure. That is true. Very much has that effect. It's a good
I
thing you've
wonder if
grown
it
up
could go back.
with Kostya as your mentor, who's
Yeah.
much more gentle, laid back. We heal and we protect people, whereas Nero's the
Yep.
nah, screw it. Let's experiment. Let's have some fun. Let's do something interesting.
Chaos.
Chaos.
It's the natural
Oh, I
order
love
of the
Nero.
universe.
It is the natural order of the universe. Anubisi, when Anubisi runs into Nero, it might be a similarity because you've actually you met the three kings during the War of Unification. You knew King Gaisval, King Marcus, and King Shago. And if anything, he's actually more like King Marcus than anything. But he's got like characteristics of Gaisval with his gung ho, let's go do this straight into the face of things. But he's got that magical characteristic of Marcus as an experimenter and purveyor of magical skills, which Yperaspitus felt that with his teleportation. Teleportation's
Oh,
not
yeah.
a thing, a true developed thing in this world yet.
So having
That was
transporter accidents.
They
We were a
almost did.
little off on our location.
Yeah, they almost had one, but they turned out fine.
Yeah.
They
we're,
think.
we're good.
I think.
There was a fly inside the transport too.
It's now embedded deep inside the left ass cheek of Yperaspitus, but he can't see that area, so no one knows yet.
Oh no, that's terrible. Tomorrow, Prologue and his axe.
Yeah, maybe he can shave that one out of your butt too. He's already got rid of a tramp stamp for Zorai.
Taking healing from a barbarian. Not a good idea.
No, their form of healing is more the opposite of a necromancer. They create dead. They don't make undead. With
I don't have a problem with that.
Speaking of, I had a question. How I don't know if I've ever actually asked you this, but how would the Magus react to necromancy itself?
It's frowned upon, but Magus in general are fairly open-minded. Gaisval would have said, screw it, I don't care. Marcus would have said, let me help. Whereas Shago would have said, probably not, let's leave the dead where they lie. Like, he would shun away
On
from
that
it. It's not
note-
that it's illegal, but...
Yeah. Have there been any Magus that have been naturally inclined towards necromancy
Oh, yeah.
with their gift?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll meet him soon.
There have definitely been Magus inside the... It's one of those rarer magics, rarer types, and rarer connections. It's not natural inside order of things. It happens eventually and every now and then. Just like Nero's magic, where he can see shapes and distances in different ways, which makes him more inclined to teleportation type magic. His is a very rare magic. It's not seen in very many. Only two have really experienced that in the last, well, maybe a couple of centuries. Well, actually, not a couple of centuries. That's only like 200 years.
Yeah.
Millennia. Maybe a couple of millennia. That's the word for it.
A while.
It's
day
been a
and a night.
long time. But Yperaspitus would actually know that there are actually two that have been in the last few centuries. One of them being King Marcus, who went missing, and the other one being Nero, who they're both directly related. So some people think it's a bloodline type thing.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm. Your Yperaspitus's book on herbalism.
Yeah, we used it to start a fire last night.
Ooh, I don't think Chief
That-
Evanbright would be very happy about that.
Yeah, that would probably result in a couple deaths, most definitely Yperaspitus's, because he would lose his mind. He'd be like, on top of everything going on.
Ooh,
No.
that gives me an idea.
Uh-oh.
Sneak, rip a page out of his book and stuff it into Zarai's mouth. So he doesn't wake up, and then let them both wake up at the same time. Look, Zarai's eating your book.
Like, put him over the book so it looks like
Yeah.
he's literally eating out of
Eating it.
it.
And slobbering on it and everything.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What did you all think of Bremlin?
I love Bremlin. Praspitus also really likes Bremlin. He thinks there's a great opportunity for a wizard to be born in these lands through Bremlin. But he's not exactly the one to really do the teaching, just the pushing.
Just the pushing.
Because that's magic. He's more healing and fighting. So
Well, then who's going to teach him?
that's a good question.
Speaking of, actually, really the only few magic purveyors are Praspitus and Eulandriel. And they're not entirely focused on magic. So you all really don't have that many magic purveyors. You really are just a frontline fighty group.
Yeah. I mean, Zarai has some magic too, but ranger magic.
Yeah, it's a ranger. Who cares?
Ranger magic is,
It's the only cool thing rangers get are companions, and Zarai doesn't have one right now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was entirely a joke, but still fairly true.
Hey.
Rangers have their uses. It's hard to find a use for rangers sometimes.
I think Praspitus hit it on the head when he was like, I trust him outside of a village.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that whole incontinent type thing. He's potty trained when he's outside.
Yeah. When we're not in a city, we're all good.
Well, he's just not going to cause
Chaos.
danger for the party as a whole. I mean, he's done a couple of stupid things, flying off after a bat, and almost flying off after the harpies. But that just would have made himself die, not the whole group.
He's self-reckless.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. Being self-reckless in a city is much more detrimental to the group as a whole, where outside it's not so bad.
That is fair.
How about we, find a leather maker and fashion something like one of those hawk hoods, and we put the hawk hood over him in the city?
See how that goes.
He's a giant bird. He's a giant bird with featherless wings.
At which point they would probably be like, so he's a harpy, right?
No.
Doesn't have enough feathers to be a harpy.
That's where you need to
And
tar and
tail.
feather him first.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Tar and feather him and leave him in the middle of the encampment somehow.
I
Push
think,
it up through one of the tunnel entrances.
I think Captain Hagduin would happily help you out with that.
Yeah.
It's been a menace.
The only way Praspitus would be okay with using Zarai as bait is as long as it ended in that man's death.
Wow, he really got underneath the entire party's skin. I mean, I knew Hagduin was he's a violent and angry elf, very racist against humans, but I don't think he would get under everyone's skin so quickly.
I mean, you introduced him very well.
Oh, good.
Very well.
Good.
Because the moment he was there, Praspitus was like, I do not want to have to deal with this man.
Especially after a long day, long day. One of the shortest days. Now, something you kind of hit on the head, being Von with Praspitus and the goal of finding the princess. You've all hit a point where the goals have expanded. there's been more that's been presented for you all to do, and there's been more things that have kind of come up, and you've looked at them all with the, okay, well, we'll just shove that off and go with Eulandriel's dream. We'll shove that off and Eulandriel's dream. With everything that's happened now, what's everyone's like thoughts as to all the possibilities and options in front of you as to where you can go and what you can do? Crickets.
Death, death, and death. I mean, we go chase the harpies, death. We go chase, try and fight a dragon, death. We go try and break her out of prison, death. Yeah, I'm happy with anybody's decision, really.
Anubis has like point and kill.
Yeah.
I think Brolog would probably be in the same boat.
Leaf wants to kill both leaders. Okay, sure. Because none of us are gonna like assassinate, so we're gonna have to fight our way through towns and armies. Yep, that sounds good.
I think.
How about we go tame the dragon and use the dragon to kill the cities?
That's a brilliant idea.
I want to see that.
Brolog can tame it. Right?
Yes. It's Brolog's time to work.
Beat it into submission, Brolog.
Just start punching it. Somehow get on its back while it's flying around.
Till it says it yields.
Yeah.
That'd be better than a tattoo. Your own pet dragon?
I would earn him a tattoo.
I would earn him a tattoo.
I'd get him some holiness. But Praspitus,
yeah, I think with with Praspitus, with the new bit of information come from Leaf, he's probably going to start pushing more towards trying to free people from that prison. But at the same time,
that's a long ways in the direction that none of the other party wants to go.
I mean, they are my employees.
Yep. I know. But they may not.
Signed a contract.
Oh, yeah, and that's made Zarai such a faithful bodyguard.
We see how that's gone. Well, I think we'll have to see how it plays, to be honest, because it could go many different ways. But I know definitely for Praspitus, his focus is no longer Eulandriel's dreams, because that's not his only connection currently to the princess anymore. He has a much more direct one now.
Well, then what's when Praspitus hears, when Leaf told Praspitus, I know where the princess is. She's in Legroth, and basically maximum prison, and explains it's a labyrinth and they don't exactly know where she is. How do you think you're going to go about getting that knowledge of where she is inside this labyrinth, which is a maximum security prison, so probably well guarded?
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you how.
No. Yeah. Needles.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Ooh. I can tell you how I would do it. Right now, I can guarantee you Praspitus isn't in the right state of mind for what I'm thinking. But he could be, should he be able to calm down after the events of the last couple of days.
Doing some thinking, doing some processing.
Because, see, how I do it is I just continue on with what we were doing. Because we're heading that direction to meet those people anyway. Act like nothing's different. And then the moment we get there, we can start poking around concerning the prison, see what we can find out. And if we start hitting sore spots, then we start being a little more sneaky or evil, I guess you could say.
If we go... Eulandria wants to go north, right? To the mountains, the volcano, and whatever else. That's... Even though I believe that it is in Laban territory, that's not heading anywhere close to the princess.
No, because that's
east.
Yeah, but Groth is east, isn't it?
We did get a map, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I don't
There
have
we go.
Roll20 open though.
Yeah, it should be on Roll20 whenever you open it up. I've left it on the map for you all to examine. So now you do have the map, which is something that your Londriel got. So technically, right now, your Londriel has the map.
Ah, okay. I don't know this. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
nah, nah, nah.
Da, 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 da.
I'm trying to keep past campaign knowledge out of this.
Yes, that is. So actually, both of you know far more details about this campaign than anyone else. Michael, you having already played the campaign, and Vaughn, you being my brother, who I've told you everything about this campaign before we decided to start streaming it. He's been the backboard of all of it. Like, all my ideas,
Sound.
backboard and bounced it off of him. There's even a few things inside these worlds that are given to me by Vaughn. Like, told to me, it's like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna incorporate that. I'm gonna use that. There was something that came to mind that I forgot about. With all the stuff going on, I mean, Yperaspitus is definitely going to want to go for the princess, but it's not player knowledge yet because we ended with Zarai having the dream of, inside this vision dream of his, he's told that he's not dead.
Yeah, he's going to want to go after him.
How do you think Anubisi and Yperaspitus are going to deal with that when Zarai tells him Steve's still alive?
That is much closer at hand and much more pressing.
Like I said before, it's death.
It's death. So Anubisi is just going to, all right, cool.
I'm happy with it, sure. I mean, we're going into a hostile territory. Somebody's going to die, either them or us.
And if saving Steve is something that ends up happening, that would definitely calm Yperaspitus down a lot.
Finally get a win after so many losses.
Yeah, after all of this bashing about, finally getting something good out of it. I mean, he's gotten something good with this new news about where the princess is, but something directly tangible that he can grasp would be nice.
Do you really feel we can take the time to do it?
That part's questionable, but Yperaspitus of the now, without having thought about things, would not really think that it would be a problem.
Oh, there's also you're on the wrong side of the river. What's that quote? What's that quote? Come on, Vaughn. I know you can get. Looks like I've got all the horses.
Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah. Oh, The Mummy. If any of you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Brilliant film. That's such a good one. It's so quotable. But we can talk about that stuff next week during Hey Laugh Laugh. Wrong show.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely need to cross the river for that one.
Aside from killing things for Anubisi and finding the princess for Yperaspitus, what are some other things that you all might hope to achieve within the next few times? I mean, there's a lot of details you've all kind of gathered and been able to formulate, but not really sit down and discuss as a party because so many things have been happening. You've been constantly on the move. You spent one day in Danira before deciding to leave and travel with Bremlin. You've been in a location no more than a single day, and you've learnt a lot of things. How do you think you're going to process everything? Or are you ever going to process everything?
That's been on Yperaspitus's mind as well. That's one of the things that has added to his stress is the fact that he hasn't been able to stop to process things.
Youngins.
Right?
Youngins.
God, just so slow thinking. Keep up, guys.
Come on.
That being said, though, is like, as
I'm in
far
my
as
element.
yeah,
This is a chaos group, and they're causing chaos everywhere. I don't think we could truly stay in one place more than one day and live.
That's
no,
so
no, I
far,
don't
yeah.
think we could. And I don't think it'll get any better getting into Laban territory.
No, it'll just flip. We're a half and
Mhm.
half party.
Yeah.
Right now, three of us don't get along well because we look too human or, in armor. When we flip to the other side, Zara and Brolog are going to be super hated and not trusted.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they don't look human enough.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see how we all end up having to deal with that.
Then again, you've all only met one, well, as far as you can tell, one human, Gremlin. So currently you're operating off the word of Reclorians.
Mm-hmm. And from what we've learned from Bremlin, and then what we've learned from Leaf, it's not even remotely what people say.
So what do you think is the cause of that?
Plead the fifth.
Okay, listen here. You're asking the two people who know the most about your campaign the very question.
we know exactly what's causing this.
Think of the mind. Think of the mind of the characters. I know you both know exactly what's causing this.
Anubisi doesn't care. She wants it to continue.
Why did I invite both of you on?
So I think well, right now Yperaspitus has had the opportunity to properly think it through, but his initial thoughts are racism is just too blatant over here. Like, he's used to the undertones, like they're a flying race and they're a walking race, so the two don't get along. He's used to that sort of thing, but the whole, like, that elf, that kind of racism, oh no, that's not good. And right now he thinks that's what the problem is.
It's a series of mistrust and hate.
All based off of race.
Seen it time and time again. I mean, from an Anubisi's point of view, war, I've been through so many wars. I've seen so many reasons for wars. Yeah, whatever. There's always going to be a reason to fight. They're going to find a reason to fight.
Same hat, different face.
Blue eyes, green eyes. Woo, fight.
How dare you have pink toenails?
Yeah.
I
probably could come up with some very ridiculous reasons I've seen wars, but hey.
So in the places you've heard of and you've discovered so far, well, you've been to 3 cities. Which one's your favorite city so far? You've been to Vol, Danira, and Mardrum. Mardrum's your favorite?
Yeah, I think this one has the best chance for death.
Danira by far.
Danira.
Because, I mean, we got there, we were mostly welcome. Yperaspitus was in his element. There wasn't really any need for fighting. He was able to protect the Chancellor. He was getting along with the Chancellor. He actually greatly regrets leaving early. Greatly regrets leaving early, actually.
Yeah, none of this would have happened if you didn't do that. Well, potentially. May have just been
It
delayed,
wouldn't have happened
maybe.
like this.
Instead of being on the 7th day, it probably would have happened on the 14th day.
Yeah. Easy. It would have been easier to have dealt with at that point mentally.
For sure. Speaking of Danira, though, how do you think Admiral Vuja's doing?
She's probably sitting on her boat going, why did I agree to do this?
I don't think so.
Fuja, the admiral of the Osirid merchants, group of individuals who trade and are responsible for the majority of trade in Quayla and their business and merchant practices.
And she has a whole new continent to herself.
I know.
That's true.
She should be in love.
She should
She should actually be. Yeah. On second thought, Yperaspitus would be thinking she's probably sitting in her boat going, why did I agree to do this? Because he's having such a hard time. But in all actuality, she's probably having the time of her life. You know, the time that Yperaspitus should be having.
Time of her life. Aw. Is Yperaspitus a little bitter, maybe?
No, he came here with one goal and he knew it was going to be easy, so.
What do you think he's going to do once he completes that goal?
Well, go back. He's done. After he saves the princess, he's going back. The faster the better.
The princess, and then I'm gone.
Nero, if I send you a really good image of where I'm at right now, can you teleport and teleport me back?
Given the difficulty he had teleporting the distance you guys did, probably not. Going 100 miles, little hard for him right now. Going, needless to say, 68 days sailing by sea, teleporting that. Little sketch.
Yeah, no.
Probably not. He'd probably die.
Like me to tell you the secret of teleportation. It's real easy. I know with the magic that you guys have right now, you can teleport an endless amount of distance.
Anubisi.
It's easy. I kill you, and he resurrects you. Teleport!
That wasn't what I was thinking, but you know what?
That would work. It's true. I mean,
gotta think in my mind, yeah.
That is, I guess, efficient.
Yeah.
Fairly efficient.
It'd probably be easier than teleporting too.
Yeah, it's proven magic. A true resurrection. He could just say, call your name out, and you come back from the dead. He'd just say, hey, I'm going to kill myself. Resurrect me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
That reminds me of the show Dark Matter, where you can reform your body in a different location, but it's still present in the first one.
Yeah. The temporary cloning.
Yes, temporary cloning. You don't get those.
I actually
memories,
had a theory. I had a theory that they were going to use temporary clones and the mind download to bring one back. And you would have to have seen Dark Matter to understand what
that means. That's one is literally the name of the character. One.
Mm-hmm.
Good show. I recommend it. It is very good.
Yeah, because
sad they're not continuing
those systems have his DNA and they have his memory download.
That's true.
They could do it.
Why wouldn't they just do it?
They also have the technology to just truly bring him back.
Because necromancy's evil.
And this is all
full circle.
It's what it is, though.
Back to that
technological necromancy.
Technological necromancy.
That was a major theme of that show.
Yeah, it was huge. We are digressing.
Yeah.
But worthy bunny trail. Very worthy bunny trail. That's a good one.
Snacks.
So Yperaspitus would just go back. He wouldn't care about anything else.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean, at the moment, that's how he stands. Like, we'll see down the road whether or not things change for him. But like right now, he's already quite fed up with being here, due to the fact that
7 days.
7 days.
2 people he has hired. 2 people have been arrested that he has hired.
Oh, okay. So, I haven't done a count, but I really should go. I don't have the time to do this. I should hire someone to go through and watch all the VODs and then count how much money has been spent
Oh god,
and
we should
draw
be
out a
out of money.
formula to see when you're going to run out of money. Because it's been 7
Yeah.
days and you'll have. I
That's
really
a
want to
lot.
say at least 500 gold so far.
I'll
At
double that.
least. Easily
'Cause
double
let's-
that, but at
let's
least.
see.
I know I haven't put too much of a dent into my reserves, but I'm not the only one with a reserve. From
Yeah,
what it
you
sounds like.
were given, or the king Shago sent you on this mission, and he gave you some allowance to do this. Let's see. Yeah, you've barely tapped into your allowance, whereas Zarai has already spent over 300 gold.
Yeah. Zarai definitely being the
Well,
big spender of the group right
200 of it he lost in high stakes
Lost,
gambling
yeah.
while he was blackout.
Didn't Goose take some too?
Yeah.
Wow, Prologue is still doing fairly well with his.
I don't think he's had reason to buy much of anything.
No,
And he's
no.
not going to really need to buy more rations because Yperaspitus dealt with that.
Praspis keeps dealing with it. But you all
Yeah.
also keep overpaying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Massive
that's
amounts.
true.
You're good tippers. These characters should exist in real. Well, actually, no, they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I want a
They
Zara
do,
running
actually.
around.
Okay, so the tipping point, or the tipping aspect does. I will clarify.
Oh yes, well that's just a Murray trait. We're all that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all tip heavily.
Some people would say too heavily. I would say not heavily enough.
I would say not the right tip.
Right? A nice cash tip on the table would be
Tracy?
much better.
No. Speaking as the only one from the party who has no money and has no need for money.
That's true. Yeah. Don't need to eat. Don't need to sleep.
Yeah, that's my tip. Hey, you want a tip? Die early.
Die early. It's like, well, I don't have a way to die early. I've got a sword right here.
Hey, I could solve that too. Your lucky
That's 2
day.
tips. Thank you, Anubisi. That's 2 tips.
Tips.
Well, I like to over tip too.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay, that's a fair way of looking at that. Over tipping. Gotta get that double tip, yeah.
It's funny.
Welcome to my mind. I can see things so differently.
From here, where do you see the party directly going? I mean, you can't stay in Marjoram. The captain's threatened to have you all arrested if you did.
Probably continuing on towards LeBron.
Trying to get there as
LeBron?
The bronze.
the
LeBron
bronze.
territory.
The Bon
So we're still
territory.
gonna, but are we gonna head north or east?
That's the big question. Is whether or not because see, in my mind as a player, I could see your Ylandriel and Yperaspitus easily coming to agreement where Yperaspitus helps your Ylandriel with his goal so that your Ylandriel can properly help Yperaspitus with his. But the thing is, the characters would have to get to that point.
Mm-hmm. You would need to take that break the party probably so desperately needs to actually sit down and talk and go through a bit of a plan.
Because I can tell you, like, not currently at the top of his mind, but some background, like, goals of Yperaspitus's, since he's in the area, is to learn one of the local languages, specifically Old Andrean, and to gather more herbalism knowledge for the chieftain back home.
Mm-hmm.
She's in jail.
She's in jail.
Princess.
Yeah.
How much
No,
time
no,
are you
yeah.
going to allow that to be? I mean, does
no,
that
that's,
rub you the wrong way, or if we're going to let
that's
her
no.
sit in jail
Yeah,
for
what
some
effect does
time
that
while
have?
No,
we
that's
play
definitely his main
around
goal. No,
with
that's
other?
definitely his main goal.
Just curious, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely his main goal is getting her, especially since at the moment, getting her means going home for Praspitus. So getting
I
her means
see.
going home and going home with his mentor.
Does this mean that his experience, his Praspitus's wow, that's hard to say. Percy's day out is spoiled.
At the moment, yes, it's quite spoiled.
It's nothing like Ferris Bueller's Day Out. Nothing at all. It's much more
Nothing at
violent
all.
and a reaction of I never want to do this again.
Next time, my king, please select someone else to do the leading. I will gladly go along, but please select someone else to do the leading.
Or at least hire better.
At least let me do the hiring so that
Yeah,
I
there
can
you go.
spend a week with them before we go.
Don't just choose random mercenaries that you've hired in the past.
That work individually for the most part.
Well,
I
to
was
a
gonna say, what
degree,
was Zarai's resume that he got hired?
Zorai, he was a mercenary. He worked. So when his mentor died, he went off and went a little bit north from the woods that he lived in and ran into a mercenary group. Ended up working with him for a bit, and that's actually where he met Brolog. Because Brolog, after the destruction of Brolog's clan and his brutal murder of the lord that issued the destruction, Brolog went down and started doing mercenary work as a hugolopid hunter. Hugolopids being those large four-armed creatures that can grow in size and have other nasty effects. The main cause and leading force that led towards the war for unification. Many years ago, sorry, the wolf had this little freak out and it looked really funny. So I lost all train of thought at that point. But so that's Zorai's background to a degree. He got back from a contract, got paid, and then was essentially pitched this idea of there's another contract you could take, and why he was pitched it, I don't necessarily know. He was pitched it because the guy wanted to get rid of Zorai.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna die on this mission. Here, have this. Lots of gold if you succeed.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I mean, with how obnoxious he can be, yeah. But then again, he's still learning.
I actually
He wasn't.
love.
You love Zorai?
Yeah, I actually love Zarai. Praspitus would like to beat him over the head occasionally, but I actually love Zarai.
I like the chaos he brings.
He's definitely one of those types of characters that you always find in a D&D party.
Yep.
Crazy individual who causes chaos and is like, I did a thing again.
What have I done? Wait, let's do it again.
Like,
Which
new
he
city,
does.
let's do it again. Are these
What
guys
should I
gonna react
do?
the same
Let's
way?
fly.
There's harpies in the area? Okay, I'm gonna go fly.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fly. We're about to get to a city that's probably gonna shoot me. I'm gonna fly.
But I can do it in such a way they're not going to see me. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Listen,
Shit.
they've got elven eyes, okay? Elven eyes.
And lots of bows.
With arrows.
With arrows. Arrows of which he still has not gone out and found. Three
Despite
cities,
trying to
three
find them
chances.
over and
They've been
over.
around.
They have been. He's got a nice ornate bow now to go with it.
Problem is, when he goes out looking for arrows, he just gets beer.
Yeah, Gets beer, gets the strong brew.
Flasks. Yeah, he just collects that instead of arrows.
Can you shoot your flasks?
You know
Oh,
what
he's
I
not
think
going
I'm
to be
gonna
able to
do?
complete his collector's editions now.
I think I'm gonna absorb the bands off his flask.
I mean, he still could if he finds people who has them and kills them and takes their. That's evil.
You know, that's fair, but that also it may be evil, but it's alright. You never know with him. You never know.
You might try to buy it or gamble for it. There we go. He'll gamble
There
for
you
it.
go. Yeah, he'll make a bet. He's like, you wanna do cards? Rock paper scissors. I'll bet you my De Niro collector's edition versus your Marjoram collector's edition. See who wins and gets the flask. It's like collecting pogs.
Ugh.
I loved
Oh.
pogs as a kid.
So did I.
Those
So
were good
numerous.
things.
So numerous.
Numerous indeed. There were. Let's see. Oh, this really is actually Yperaspitus' big day out. He's grown up in the island of Zenus, which is the capital floating island of Quaila. I say capital floating island. It's the only floating island in Quaila, but it's where all the Magus live, and they rarely venture out of the island to begin with. So, Yperaspitus going from the island to a whole new continent is a big leap, especially for someone as young as him.
Yeah. He's still a baby in Magus years.
How old is he? Did you say 23, 25, 27? I can't remember.
Around that age.
Around those ages. Yeah, that is still very much baby with
Super
the king.
young.
The king's 726 years or something like that. I have it in my notes somewhere. But I've got
Yeah, he's
a dozen documents
he's
for notes.
older.
126?
Older.
Thought he'd be about 400.
Oh no, the king's 726 years old, or
Oh, okay,
736. One of those two.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the
Older
second
than
oldest
the,
Magus. The oldest Magus is 846 years old, and I've got his name written down somewhere, but I don't have that book out. I need to organize myself better. Or in a more easier, efficient way with everything inside one location as opposed to a dozen locations. I just need to finish the book.
Yeah.
Alas, the time. So onwards to Le Bon, what do you expect to find?
Death. Sorry. I'm beating a dead horse, I know, but that's Anubisi's mindset. You know.
Death. Or
She
death.
definitely wants to find death for sure.
Now, given new circumstances, yeah. I mean, that's always been my goal, but now I do have a vested interest in what's going on in this land because it's starting to be beneficial for me.
Well, you've got just under 4 months from what you've heard until the
We
summit's
gotta
held.
make that faster. I don't see how we're gonna survive 4 months.
With 7 days going by like this,
Yeah.
maybe.
We're gonna get to 4 months in like 2.5 real years of game time.
True. It's basically been 1 day per episode at this point.
Mm-hmm. That would make it even worse. Yeah. Only 1 month a year. It would be 3
1 month a
years.
year. Oof. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna stay like that for much longer especially with the new
No.
circumstances.
We'll figure out how to make it half a day per campaign.
You'll make it worse. Meanwhile, I'll be sitting here as like, we've been having this conversation for 3 sessions now. Why? Why?
Look, I know you guys love to role play, but can we please move on?
Because there's still 5 drinks he hasn't tried yet.
There's still information I have to garner.
It's like a note to self: don't make a drink list ever. Never make a drink list. Just offer it as strong, mediocre, and light alcohol content.
Every place is going to have its trap for one of us.
Mhm.
True.
You know, drinks in any civilized town for Zarai, but if we got to Holden, I bet Yperaspitus would be kind of trapped in the library for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Grabbing any and every text that can do with ancient Andrean
Yeah.
and herbalism and fighting.
Well, we'll have to see what happens if you guys ever go to Holden.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few locations actually that have been mentioned to you all. Holden's a repeated one. You've heard that one several times.
Isn't that where Bremlin
Main
went?
one.
You guys
No,
actually
he
don't
was-
know where Bremlin went. He just said he had to leave.
No, yeah, he didn't tell us. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Forgot.
He got a note and left.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, you've heard the name Holden, you've heard Pilsa, Nutra, Listrabga, that's the capital of Laban.
I think they did say something about Portal
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
being
yeah,
being the bigger port city.
Mm-hmm. Plenty of options,
I
plenty of
remember.
places to go.
If I remember correctly, we were heading towards Nutra with Bremlin.
Yes,
Wasn't
that was
he
one of the...
going-
He was going straight to Listrabga, but Nutra's in between.
Yeah.
Like at that point, a good destination to head to first. Like re-equip and restock if possible, or if you can.
We probably could have like hired a boat
Mm-hmm.
to get us from Nutra to Straba.
True, yeah. Nutra's right on
And
the
since we were
lake.
Close. Yeah.
Close to.
And since we were getting closer to that other side of the continent, maybe finding a boat from one of the coastal regions there up north.
Trying to head that way. What do you all make of Yolandriel's visions?
Well, from what he's told us, Yperaspitus thinks that someone's playing with Yolandriel, but at the same time, it was the closest tie to the princess that he had. So now it's more like, well, maybe I'll help you.
Define playing with. What do you mean by that?
Well, he thinks someone is purposefully acting like the god Yolandriel. He doesn't fully understand Yolandriel's relationship with his god yet, but he thinks that someone's purposefully using Yolandriel's faith to get him to do that person's will.
Okay.
Not necessarily Eshnar.
So, Yperaspitus thinks Yolandriel's being manipulated. Used.
And you know what? He was quite okay with it as long as it got him closer to the princess.
Yeah. Now, there is one term that Yolandriel dropped. I'm pretty sure it was around the entire group, which was, I'm not from this world.
Know how that goes.
I think he said that a couple times now.
He has a few times. This definitely wouldn't be anything new for Anubisi,
Yeah. Worlds, yeah.
but
Can't count the number.
for Yperaspitus, that's a strange concept.
Yeah, he hasn't had the opportunity to think too hard on it, though.
Again, you all haven't been able to sit down and have a chat about everything that's happened. It's been nothing but constant go, 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 go. Movement, movement.
Non-stop.
Let's
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's constant nonstop, but I think 50% of our constant nonstop is party created, you know. We got to go bail somebody out of jail. We got to go find somebody who went to the brothel on the other side of the city. We're wasting a lot of time correcting party stuff.
Yeah, if it was constant nonstop in the right direction, I don't think Percy would have so much a problem. But
we could all just raise a hand as well.
Yeah, I turned that off. It went wild.
but like you said, it hasn't been nonstop in a forward direction. It's been like one step forward, 7 steps back.
You try to progress and move towards your destination, move towards your goals, but just someone in the party keeps mucking it up, doing crazy
and let's
things.
all be very fair. The first person to muck it up was actually Yperaspitus.
You just pronounced your name wrong.
I did.
Why? Because you gave permission to leave?
Yperaspitus. Yeah, because he decided to join Bremlin.
Nah, that's not a diversion off course.
I mean, it sort of is, because we're in not Laban territory, traveling with a Laban resident. Yeah, sure, he's part of a group who can do that and mostly go unscathed, but it does actually paint... Yeah, collective. But it does actually paint us in a slightly tainted light for everyone we come across. Like this captain. For instance, if we'd stayed 3 days, we probably would have a Reclorian escort. And this captain would be like incredibly friendly, despite the fact that we look human. Well, incredibly friendly. It'd be venomously friendly, but friendly.
I still think somebody would have got thrown in jail.
Yeah, no doubt. Zarai still would have done something, and it still would be the 1 step forward, 7 steps back. But it wouldn't have been started by painting us in a rose-colored light, because we're traveling with Laban resident.
Oh, but now we're not,
a human. Yeah, now we're not.
The last day, and we got into a new city, and still the same thing happened. Somebody got arrested, and we had to go get him out. So I don't know if I buy that theory.
You think it's going to happen in the next city?
I think
going to get arrested.
I mean, if it's not much the same, it's going to be more violent, and it's going to be Brolog's turn.
Or
Brolog's time to work.
Or Anubisi's turn.
I might get tired of these guys and finally start killing some of them, you know?
Yeah, you know what? This is it. We're done. We're done.
He fell on my sword, I swear.
I was trying to get my point across to him.
He ended up getting extra credit.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think it would have been much the same, but starting off a little easier if we had stayed in Danira.
I think we would have been thrown in jail in Danira if we would have stayed.
Okay, that's very likely as well. Like, it could have just everything fall apart there. But Yperaspitus would have had Vuja to lean back on at that point. So,
yeah.
Well, you've seen a rather drastic difference between the 3 cities you've been in. Danira, you're welcomed with open arms, with, new people, we love new people. Vul was a bit more of a, you're being watched, they're cautious around you, cautious with you being inside their city. And then Mardrum's the get out. Like, they don't want you in the city. That's culture shock. Very different strange cultures in a short area. And wildly different from Quayla, where you can travel anywhere and not have
Be
people
welcome.
up your throat about what race you are or what you look like in that kind of form, except for maybe in the Drarian Kingdom.
In fact, when Praspitus would have traveled around Quella, it would have been more a, hey, you're Magus. Hey, come on. Well, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Like, let me
See,
buy you a drink.
That's why
Yeah.
Anubisi likes, one of the reasons why Anubisi likes this place.
Because it's
It's
not like
chaotic. They hate, there's lots of tension here. Lots of opportunity.
A lot of angry people. Angry stuff. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half or so. I am out of my questions on my end. Yep, I've asked everything. So, final thoughts. What's next? What do you think is gonna happen on the next episode?
Not even going to guess.
someone is going to die.
Hey, that sounds good.
Maybe not a party member, probably a couple harpies, but someone is going to die.
It's even hard for me to guess, and I'm the DM. Imagine the joys of a DM who has no idea what the party's going to do, where they're going to go, or how they're going to act.
Right. I'm hoping at some point soon, though, Yolandriel and Praspitus get to have a good conversation about the future of the party, because I feel like those are the two, like, kind of crossroad points at the moment.
Like crossroad deviating points. It's also the joys of the beginning of campaigns, and especially, and this is actually something I've discovered because I've done this campaign several times for different groups. The big thing is they're really, when you go to a whole new country, a whole new continent where you know nothing, there is no direction. You've no idea what to do. You've got to ask questions, get things, get information. I think the easiest group actually was, Michael, the group that you were in, because we had Eva, who did all those things. The most incredible note taker I have ever seen playing D&D. It was almost like she was writing down every word I said as I was saying it. She was a great note taker. So great that actually her character was Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And made it into the campaign canon. I loved the character so much. I had to make it permanent.
Aw, and you didn't feel the same way about Zayden? Ah, too bad.
Spoilers. With that, I think we should show this wonderful little thing before we close out for the night. Unless you all have any other little last comments, last little insights you might want to share or say. The dog upstairs does.
Praspitus let Brolog loose.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, this Sunday may be very exciting, but check this beautiful thing out. Look at that. Oh, hey, let's move him up there.
Okay, what?
Oh, if you pop into the stream.
On the stream.
That's your
Oh my
Landriel.
goodness.
We've got character art on the way. The wonderful Michael Howe is putting together our character art, and he's done a beautiful job.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
far
watched that stream of him creating that. That's awesome.
He's
I did.
so talented.
I didn't have an exact image for Praspitus, and he drew an image, and that's what I see now. That is all I see now.
Yeah, that's so you can actually find his. I think I can't remember exactly all the links, but I know I put his Twitch link linked down below inside the descriptions. You can go back there, and he's actually streaming the creation of all our character art and how he goes through that process. He was actually messaging while he was making your laundry, and I was like, oh, hey, yeah, okay, yeah, let me just answer this question quickly because I know this is important. He was wonderful. He rushed the Yolandriel for yesterday's one-off Yolandriel's Escape, which, Vaughn, you'll find out how that went on Sunday, or unless you watch the VOD. But the rest are coming. They're along the way. I'm very excited. I think we're all very excited to get those and to have some character art to go behind the faces to help with that immersion and that creation and help our own minds hop into the world. It's easy for me to do because I've been writing this world for 8 years now. But for no other comments, I think I'm out of commentary on my side, out of questions. So, I think it's time to say we'll see you all on Sunday, you wonderful human beings.
Yay!
We look forward to seeing Anubisi and Yperaspitus again, and whatever's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Whatever's
It's gonna be
happen,
fun.
It's gonna be
It's gonna
entertaining.
be so fun.
Thank you so much, Anubisi, or Michael and Vaughn, for joining me here today, and enjoying some tea.
Indeed.
For the rest of you, see you on a Sunday at 3. Au revoir.
The end may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles and shouts.